Hello everybody, it's Kisui. So, today I'm going to talk about some tips and tricks and hopefully helpful advice for you guys when learning a language that you are trying to learn. But this will be more catered to Japanese. Now, first off, I would like to say that thank you so much for watching the previous video. I noticed that there was about 141 views on it, so I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. And now let's get started for the tips and tricks, or the advice that I can give for learning Japanese. So, when you're learning Japanese, at least from my experience, when I started learning Japanese, I would watch some beginner guides to learning Japanese, and I also mostly worked on hiragana and katakana, and I wrote it down as well. Writing down hiragana and katakana will help you remember and retain it more better, as well as pronouncing it as you write each individual kanji down. You can do this repeatedly until you can get it stuck in your brain. And another thing is that I did take Japanese lessons for beginner class. Now you can take this so long as you do have the money to afford it, but you don't really need to, because your best friend for learning a language would be YouTube. YouTube is a great video platform to use for learning a language, since we have the new technology now to use a lot of applications, websites, to be able to learn a language. Now, what I recommend watching on YouTube is Japanese videos. Japanese videos could be anything of interest to you, such as anime, video games, dramas, movies, or just about daily life. You must watch it in Japanese though, because your mind will retain it more better as you progress. Now, another thing is kanji. Now, as I said in my previous video, I have been learning kanji. You will notice kanji on a lot of YouTube videos. Now, of course, some of them you will recognize because most of all the common kanji would usually be on the video. So you'll see every now and then some common kanji that may appear. The next recommendation that I would recommend would be buying a physical book. Now, I prefer physical books and anything physical media because it's just better. In this new day of age, the streaming platforms are just streaming platforms, and you're paying for a service. You technically do not own anything of that service because you're paying for a service, a monthly subscription. Now, having a physical copy of a media, you own it pretty much. You have it, you can watch it whenever you want, you can read it whenever you want, and you can listen to it whenever you want. You don't have to pay for a service. So, I prefer reading actual physical books. I have many manga in Japanese, completely in Japanese, and they do have furigana. Most manga do, depending on how the publisher or how the author made it. Certain manga that is more difficult to read, I think, do not have furigana. Now, what is furigana? Furigana is basically you have hiragana and katakana text, but you also have kanji, and beside it would be tiny little words of hiragana. And I won't lie, for me, it is super hard to read sometimes because they're super tiny. So sometimes I do use it is a micro glass, or my brain's not braining right now. Magnifying glass. Yes, it is a magnifying glass. I sometimes use it because the words on the footing on it is so tiny. Now, the next thing I recommend for learning Japanese would be watching TV shows that may interest you, that you've been wanting to watch. Definitely watch them. Now, you don't necessarily need to watch it without subtitles. You can still watch it with subtitles. Of course, as you listen and constantly listen to media of Japanese, you will begin to notice that some of the translation in English is not accurate when you're reading the translation for English compared to the original Japanese audio. That is what I've been noticing a lot now when I'm watching anime or watching a movie or anything of that nature that has to do with Japanese. I notice the translation is off, or at least it might be close to it for English wise. And so that'd be my recommendation for that. Listen to podcasts, also listen to songs and watch videos that help beginners or anybody learning Japanese to help you pronounce the proper pronunciation for it. Another thing to do with that would be watching YouTubers of Japanese YouTubers playing any video games that you enjoy watching or you enjoy playing. There's a lot on Minecraft, and there is a lot on a variety of other games. Any games in Japanese you could most likely find. And another thing would be to have patience when learning the language. It can be frustrating at times. I've had my frustrated moments, but I never gave up because I am still learning the language, even now. I would also recommend to go to video games that possibly could have Japanese players on it. The only one I could think of right now would be VR Chat, which is the one I am on right now. VR Chat has a very variety of different kinds of communities, but the language communities definitely help. I only usually go to the Japanese language communities because I'm learning Japanese and my main focus is Japanese. And so I usually try my best to talk to people that are learning Japanese or Japanese natives. And they teach me a lot about their culture or anything that I've never even heard of, which is definitely a big help when learning Japanese. I would recommend it for sure. Of course, you can use other types of way of speaking. You can use an application called Teuda. Now, Teuda, I will put a link in the description. You can use it to speak Korean, Japanese, and Spanish. So I use that application to learn Japanese and Spanish, Japanese and Korean. I am going to be using it also for learning Spanish later. One other thing would be changing your phone or your PC to Japanese. This one time when I was trying to configure my PC keyboard to have Japanese, to be able to type in Japanese on my PC, I accidentally changed my PC completely to Japanese, but I was still able to navigate it because I knew what it was saying in English previously. Of course, I eventually changed it back, but it was trial and error because it was really confusing because I've never had my PC in Japanese before. Another thing I did was changing my phone to Japanese. In the beginning, it was completely overwhelming because I did not fully grasp katakana just yet. Same with kanji. I only knew hiragana, but there was barely any. So I would screenshot everything on my phone that was in Japanese, and I would use a translating app. Now, the translating app that I'm going to share is called Papago. One thing I will say is that never use Google Translate. I'm not sure why everyone always glazes on that one, but to be frank with you, to be brutally honest with you, I do not like Google Translate for any language whatsoever. It is never translated well, to be honest with you. The only one that I think would be good for at least an Asian language would be Papago. Papago definitely helps me when translating things in Japanese. It also helps with Korean because it is usually used for Korean. But those two are definitely really helpful. And also, it also can have Chinese on there as well to like translate. So that's pretty cool. Another thing I would probably recommend would be listening and watching anything in Japanese throughout your day. So let's say you wake up early in the morning. Listen to a podcast in Japanese, even if it's beginner N5 level. Or have a video in the background in Japanese. Or a news station in Japanese. Anything. Daily life, video games, whatever that you have interest in. That definitely helps for sure. Doing and watching it in the morning, and then also throughout the day. Even before you go to bed also helps as well, to study and speak the language, and then once you're asleep, you might even dream in the language. I won't lie, I've had some experiences in my dreams where I'm speaking the language. Some of it is gibberish, but it is still a little bit Japanese, but most of it is Japanese because I'm still learning Japanese even in my sleep, in my dream, which is crazy. That is one crazy thing that happens when learning a language for so long. Another thing that I would say would be that helped me when first learning Japanese was taking a Japanese language class for beginners is also a great starter. Now, you don't have to pay for something like that. You can actually get it for free on many websites. You can also get it on YouTube. Obviously, there's many videos on YouTube that share beginner guides to learning Japanese. Another recommendation that I would recommend, surprisingly, Discord also helps with language communities too. There are many variety of languages to learn with Discord, and there are also other people that can help you as well. So definitely use those for speaking with other people, as well as just learning in general. One other thing I would also recommend, excuse me, would be to change your game in Japanese. If you play any games, change it to Japanese. And if you have played it before already in English, play it in Japanese. See how much you can retain and remember from learning Japanese yourself, and you'll see how much progress you've made. Even if you haven't learned Japanese all the way fully just yet, that is okay. I will say from my experience, one time I have tried playing Resident Evil 2 Remake in Japanese one time, and I was a bit overwhelmed because everything on the screen was in Japanese, but I knew what to do because I played the game before. That was also a really fun thing to do. Definitely make learning Japanese engaging for you, You don't have to always follow what other people do. Just make it fun for yourself. Because once you make it fun for yourself, you will be obsessed with the language and you will want to keep learning about the culture and all the new things about it, which is amazing. There have been many things that I found about Japanese that I never even knew existed. So definitely always make it more fun for you. Do what you want to do. Learn the language however you want. Whatever makes you happy on how to learn the language. Whatever keeps you motivated and pushing to keep going to learn the language. Definitely do that. I would also say that when learning Japanese, you will face a lot of challenges and obstacles, and you'll be overwhelmed and frustrated. But trust in the process and keep learning the language, and you will see progress and improvement over time. It will take a while, but you will see how far you've come in the long months ahead. So, definitely keep going. Definitely also make friends in Japanese, such as in VR chat or any language community. That definitely helps to keep you motivated as well. Another thing would be to just keep studying the language. Another one thing that I do is I use Anki as well to study and keep learning kanji. As I said in my previous video, I am learning kanji now. And kanji is really difficult because there's so many, but I'm trying my best. And you can too. I believe in you, man. So, usually with kanji, it is very difficult for everybody, and most people have their own way of learning kanji. So if you can figure out a way to make it easier for yourself to learn kanji, then you'll be right on your way to getting better at kanji. Now, as I said in my previous video, I did buy a book, a light novel, in Japanese, and I did read it, and on the first page, it was mostly kanji, and hiragana and katakana, but no furigana. Now that is a difficult task for me, and quite overwhelming and frustrating because I only know very little kanji because I'm learning it still. So usually what I do, I just use the translator at Papago to help me know what's going on in the language. And even when I use that, I also use the image translator. So usually what it does is that it'll take a picture, you take a picture of the image or of the book you're reading, you highlight the Japanese, and when it highlights the Japanese, it'll appear with Japanese on the top, and on the bottom will be the English translation. Usually what I do is I copy both of those and I put it in my notes, and then I continue reading. And then once I continue reading, I usually use a translator app to be able to pronounce the sentence sometimes, or I'll just look up online how people use it in the language in daily conversation. So that also is a pretty big help. There are many things that you can do to help yourself make the language more fun and engaging to keep learning the language. So I definitely recommend many of those things that I just said today. I think that's all I have to say about what to do about when learning the language. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing how my progress will go in the future. Now, yes, I understand that I did not speak any Japanese in this video, but that's okay. Sometimes I will be mostly speaking English, but when I get better at speaking Japanese, I will be speaking in Japanese. Who knows? Maybe in the next few videos, I will be speaking with Japanese natives online. Anyhow, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and a wonderful evening. See you guys soon.